Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Planning Working Party. Let's take this off screen. That's it. Right, agenda item 1. To note that this is a working party, has no delegated authority and may only make recommendations to full council. Urgent actions may be taken under delegated authority given to the clerk and the chair. Thank you. Item 2, which is apologies for absence. Any apologies, Vicky?
No, I've had none. So we're all here.
Oh, yeah, right. Item 3, which is declarations of pecuniary interest and request for dispensation. Councillor Smith, Liz Smith.
Just for the item about H&P High Point, because I work there, so non-pecuniary interest.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Item 4, minutes of the previous meeting. Can we put it up on the screen, or Vicky, please? Okay, which is page 273. Okay, 274. Bit about Great Wilsley. Councillor Liz Smith plans have been submitted for High Point Prison, but we're discussing that tonight. So, okay, 274. 5, sorry.
Sorry, Chair, I was trying to raise my hand at the last one.
Oh, sorry. Right, 274, Vicky, go back.
Sorry, just on the before Liz's bit, the road damage and everything, I've reported again because there's now half the road, what's it called, speed hump is missing now outside the Falcon Close entrance to the site. And there's no news at the moment on when the actual roundabout, which is in a terrible state, is going to be closed off so they can start digging it up and enlarging it, which is a shame. I've also had, related to that, a complaint today, indirectly, which I'll get onto on matters reporting later on, I think.
Okay. Thank you for that. Right, 275. 276. 277. I'm flashing sort of backwards and forwards, so to try and, so I can only get 6 up on my screen. And next page, that's it, I think, 277, isn't it? There's no more, is there? 278, no? Right, thank you. Thank you, Vicky. Next item is item 5, matters arising from those minutes. Councillor Stitchcombe?
We haven't adopted those minutes, so I'm proposing that we do.
Thank you very much for that, reminding me. Can I have a seconder for adoption of those minutes, please? Councillor Liz Smith. All those in favour, please show. Okay, there's no matters arising from those minutes, I presume. No? Okay, thank you. Item 6, any members of the public? Colin? No? Okay, item 7, to consider planning applications to West Suffolk Council. List A, which was done under delegated powers by me and Vicky. DC 21 1770 FUL, small a, single story side extension with enclosed roof mounted electrical room, plant area, small b, repositioning of existing access, small c, solvent store enclosure, small d, 2 carbon absorption vessels, K1. This is 5 Rookwood Way, and we said neutral for that one. Any comments at all? No? Okay, list B, application 1, which is DC 21 2446 OUT, which means all matters reserved in brackets, 1 dwelling and single garage, land adjacent to Anne Suckling Lane, Little Ratting. Councillor Sitchcombe?
Thank you, Chair. It isn't in Little Ratting anymore. I'm sure that's what they've got on their deeds when they bought the property, but it's now Haverhill, isn't it? It's North Ward Haverhill. So I wonder if we could just feed a comment in to that effect on this and the second application as well, which has the same defect. It doesn't represent the current state of affairs.
Yeah, I think I raised this a few meetings ago about this particular subject, saying that this harmonisation of it's all gone through, isn't it? So I can't understand why they keep putting Little Ratting on it.
Well, I can understand that the owner of the property still thinks of it as being Little Ratting. It's just that the planning authority ought to know better by now, I would have thought.
Councillor Burns?
The postal area is Little Ratting, that's why.
Oh.
It's in Haverhill Town Council parish area, but it's actually a postal code, a postal area of Little Ratting. That's
Right.
why.
Oh, so that never changes then?
I wouldn't think so.
Okay. Right, thank you for that. Right, there's is there any comments at all on this one? Councillor Smith, Dave Smith?
I think probably propose neutral here, just to sort of make a note to what's the word I'm looking for? The archaeology report there was a condition about making sure there was a proper survey done before any work was actually done on the site. So I think just sort of just recognise that the conditions the archaeology and the public health and housing people are recommending.
Okay, yeah, we can still have neutral with them added on. Yeah, right, can I have a proposal for neutral with them things added on that Councillor Smith said? Councillor Dave Smith proposed, Councillor Sitchcombe second. All those in favour, please show. Carried. Thank you. Application 2, which is DC 21 25 23 FUL, small a, 1 dwelling, small b, detached single garage, a Farrar's Lodge, that's the place where it is, it's going to be, and it's in Anne Suckling Lane again. Any comments at all? No? I've got a comment on the parking, the amount of parking for a 4-bedroom, 7-person house. It looks like there's only 2 parking spaces to me. I was wondering about the 4th bedroom, the size of it, but my measurements are not that great. Councillor Smith, Liz Smith?
When I looked at it, I thought I couldn't quite see where it fitted in with all the other new builds around that area, because obviously the previous one we just looked at. but it seems to be quite a small plot for such a large house. And I didn't see, as you say, there wasn't much area for my parking, and the garden seemed quite small. So I just wondered, within that very small plot, it was a little bit of overdevelopment. I mean, I don't know what other thoughts are on it, but also, yeah. See, I couldn't quite. Is that backing straight onto Anne Suckling's? It is, isn't it? I think, yeah. But it's going to have a northwest. I think it said in the plan it's going to have a northwest facing house. So yeah, but anyway. But there was one. I can't remember if it was this one. I'm just trying to find the document now. There was one where it said work had already started taking place, unless I'm confusing it with one of the other applications.
Yeah.
I
I don't know. Colin, could you get the parking? I've zoomed Colin's doing it.
I could do. It's not me doing it. If Vicky can come off, I can put a better diagram than that up.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I've got you, Councillor Davison.
So this is what it looks like with it filled. And as Mayor Smith was pointing out, for this huge house, that's the back garden with the Leylandii. That's the parking coming in at the angle. And that's what it looks like compared to, if you look at the line of houses, that's right up to the road. I can certainly see what Mayor Smith is saying about it. It does look a little bit crammed in.
Yeah, it just seems quite a large house for that sort of plot, doesn't it?
Yeah, and if you look at the fourth bedroom, that looks very tiny to me. Very tiny. It's one bed, but even one bed is very tiny.
Yeah. I wonder if you could bring up the sorry, I keep going on. If you could bring up the planning application, Colin, please. So I think I may have been getting confused, but I thought there was one that I read earlier that said the application form, that it already started.
Yeah, you.
It's a pre-app response.
Yeah, that's
No,
the
the
one you
application
want.
form itself.
Which one do you want? That one?
No, the
Yeah,
application
just above
one.
that. Just above that.
it.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Sorry, I can't see it for looking.
Let's have a look. Yeah, if we go down. Oh yeah, so description of the proposal. Has the work or change of use already started? It says 1st of September 2021. So it looks like it might be slightly retrospective. Anyway.
That is so naughty. I think that is absolutely, these planning officers have got to take a grip, some of these builders, and also the person as well. It's all wrong. It's just crazy, really. And the trouble is, when it goes to full planning, they say, "Oh, well, it's starting to be built," and they're okay it, even though there's a few objections to it. Councillor Davison.
Thank you. I can't remember exactly, but I think if you look at the application form, it's quite. If you could go down, Colin, I think it was signed on maybe September, but I can guarantee you that the work started before Christmas. And the guy is doing it himself. No, you're right, 29th of December. Well, I can assure you the work started around about November.
On that previous bit, it did show that the work started 1st of September.
Right, okay. It is a very, very small plot. I mean, it really is small, and as everyone's saying already, it's virtually on the road verge. There's going to be a path there, and at the moment, the fencing is literally on the road verge. The guy is building it himself. So it's quite an interesting sort of structure that's going up. I think we should be looking at neutral, but the only comment I'd make is that Suffolk County Highways obviously have the condition that they want to make sure that, sorry, I've forgotten now, my notes are not complete, but they did put a condition on, can't remember what it was, but there was a condition that they wanted on. So I'm saying neutral, but with that condition. Thank you.
Thank you for that. You know, I can't understand. We've you know had a go in the past about places not having enough parking, and this has got 4 bedrooms, even though one's too small, as I think it is, and 7 people, and there's just 2 parking spaces. I just can't understand that. Right. Okay. Is there anyone else want to say anything? Councillor Dave Smith and then Councillor Burns.
I think Councillor Burns was first, if you want to go to him first.
No, I'm chair. I saw you first.
I was just going to say that I think the work that's been started is it just the contaminated land where they've removed earth from there, or is it actual the build? Yeah, I think the other issue I think I would have is the land eyes. It says it's already been removed, and there could be an issue of overlooking there as well.
Right. Okay, Councillor Burns.
Okay, it's worthwhile looking at the pre-app document that Colin was alluding to earlier on, if you've not already read it. And I know this was from last April, so I don't know what has changed in the meantime. But the application was only relatively recently, what do you call it, registered. I can't remember the date it was registered. You know, even I think it was Alice was saying that, you know, it's too constrained, the plot. And you're right about the parking. I think that, you know, the whole site was given planning permission a while back for 2 units. And I think what they've done is they built the first unit very big, not leaving a lot of space for this. And I'm absolutely amazed. I don't know what Highways are thinking of. Why have they not even commented on the parking? Have they actually looked at the plans? I don't know the guy's name. I never this Highways person. You know, I don't know. I mean, it's really really odd that they've done this. I don't know. It's a really strange design, as has been said. It's really close up against Anne Suckling Way. We seem to be having a massive amount of individual buildings going up here on Anne Suckling Lane, but nobody ever talks about, and I know it's only one dwelling, but added up, nobody talks about the effect on Anne Suckling Lane or road, whatever you want to call it, exiting onto the A143. We all talk about Persimmon, but all these individual ones are all adding up. And if it does become open, that house will be right on the highway. If Anne Suckling Road is allowed to be opened up into the Persimmon development. It's a really strange development. And I got a feeling that what's happened is over the last few months, there's been a lot of to and fro between the officer and the applicant in terms of pre-app advice. So they've only just registered it to come through. You know, there's various documents in there which I read earlier on about the fact that they're building up retaining walls, the hardcore. You know, they talk about contaminated area. Fact that Mick George removed the waste in 2 visits. Well, if they brought along a 20-ton truck, that's 40 ton of earth they've removed. It says we have documentation, which is fine, but what was it, you know, the contamination, have they dealt with that properly? You know, it's a really weird application. So I think the parking, when I looked at it earlier on, I thought, what an awful parking thing. And you're right about the back garden, or no back garden, or is it a front garden? Non-existent. Thank you.
Thank you for that. As I say, really, they want to get a grip, these officers. You know, if they've been talking to him, surely they must have noticed something there. And, you know, that it's right near the highway and it's a very small plot. It's a very, you know, small rooms as well. Or a particular one, especially 4th bedroom. I just wish they'd get a grip, these officers. And you know, what's the use of us being here when they just let them get away with things like that? It's, you know, I haven't been up there. That might be half built now. So I haven't been up there, so I wouldn't know. But it could be. You know, it's strange. Right. Okay. So where do we go from here? Vicky, you got all that, have you? Yeah. Where do we go from here? Personally, I think we should object on what's been said. You know, I propose that we should object on them grounds of parking, size of the plot. And what else did you say, Liz? It's over.
I said it was overdevelopment of the area. That's a small plot. And the amount of vehicles and that will be.
Yeah, and it's too close to the highway, to the park. Close.
Councillor Davison did suggest a neutral, so I don't know if that was a proposal.
Oh yes, sorry, was that a proposal? Yeah, I must take these. Yes, oh right, okay. Can I have a second, the third neutral? Councillor Brown? Right, all those in favour, please show. That's 3. All those against, please show. That's 4. Right. Okay. Now, can I have a propose? I propose, sorry, that we object on the grounds that's been said. And also, can I have a second of that, please? Councillor Liz Smith. All those in favour, please show. Are you in favour, Councillor Smith? Oh, yeah, right. That's 4. All those against, please show. That's 3. Right, that's carried. Thank you.
Chair, did you want us in our response to highlight the fact that the work on the actual construction has started and that the planning department should be seeking immediate cessation of work until it's determined?
Can we do that then?
We can certainly ask.
Oh, right.
We know that people will build things without planning permission, and if they would have got planning permission, then they'll get clean away with it. But that's the risk they take. If it turns out that they would not get planning permission, then there'll be a court order to take it all back down again.
Right. Okay. Yes, please, then, Colin. Yeah, please. And Vicky. Is everyone in agreement with that? Sorry. Or the ones that voted for it, they're in agreement? Yeah. Okay. Right. Thank you very much. Next one is item 3. Application 3, which is DC 21-2486 FUL, warehouse building for storage for international fragrances, which is IFF, Dudley Hill. Is there any comments on this one, please? No? Can I have a proposer for neutral then, please, Councillor Stitchcombe?
I've also got a typo to report that warehouse building for storage has become storage.
Oh, yeah. Right, okay. Right, can I have a proposer for neutral then, please?
I have proposed neutral.
Right. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Dave Smith. Thank you. All those in favour, please show. Thank you. Carried. Application 4, which is DC 21-22-10 TPO. This is a TPO 197 (1994) tree preservation order. 1 sycamore, T1 on plan and order. Reduce crown to previous reduction points, approximately, in brackets, approximately 4 meters crown height reduction and 2 meter lateral crown reduction. Close bracket. 1 sycamore T2 on plan and order. Fell. 1 sycamore brackets T3 on plan and order. Prune lateral crown spread to appropriate pruning points. To southeast to provide a maximum of 3 meter clearance from the roof line of number 16 Trefoil Court. And this is number 8 Trefoil Court that's asked, that's the application or the applicant, which is Haverhill Housing. Right, is there any comments on that one? Councillor Davison?
I propose neutral.
Thank you. Can I have a seconder for neutral then, please? Councillor Stitchcombe, I saw first. Okay, all those in favour, please show. Yep, that's carried. Thank you.
Sorry, Chair. I just wanted to comment on that. It's probably too late.
Oh, did you?
I just wanted to say that I did ask when I was consulted this as the ward councillor that they replace the tree that they are felling, not in the same place necessarily, but an appropriate tree somewhere else on their land. So so we're not losing a tree, as it were.
Oh, that's good. Thank you for that. Right, application 5, which is DC 22 0121 VAR, variations of condition 2 of DC 20 1592 HH to allow small a amendment of external finish of walls at first floor level from red facing brick to timber effect cladding. Small b, omit hit ends to itched roof.
I think that should be pitched.
Yeah, I thought it's
It's
not my typing.
typing.
not my typing. I've just copied it, pasted it.
I quite like itched roof anyway.
Yeah, itch is right, isn't it? Over projecting element of garage to provide lean-to roof, small c, single story and 2-story front extension, small d, first floor side extension above garage. This is 35 Mill Hill. Now, when I looked, which was Sunday, there was no documents. Is anyone looked in Sunday to see if they're there? Councillor Burns and then Councillor Davison.
I got them downloaded this morning. They were not there. I emailed them this morning and they put them up online. They've been there since this morning.
I've been work this morning, so that's
Want me
why
to
I
put them on
haven't time.
screen?
Yes, please. Yeah, Councillor Davison.
I concur with Councillor Burns. I only had the chance to look at them at about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and they were definitely up.
Right, thank you. Okay, have you seen anything, Councillor Davison or Councillor Burns? Have you seen anything on these really that? No? Okay.
I was about to propose neutral.
Okay. Councillor Smith? Dave Smith?
Yeah, I was going to say that the variation seems to be the cladding that they want to put on the outside. I'm wondering if that is really sort of in keeping with the rest of the houses in the area. The other thing is the shape of the roof over the garage, going from hip to like a lean-to style. Not a problem with that. I don't know if anybody else has got any comments on the fact that there's going to be cladding on it.
Colin, can you Google what I call Google Earth to have a look in this road, please, while we're talking? Councillor Burns, then Councillor Liz-Smith.
I was only going to say red facing bricks are like gold dust at the moment. And I think that's probably why he's going for cladding. That came up at the meeting we had the other day. If you can't get them, they're really expensive. So I suspect that's why he's going for the cladding option.
Okay. Councillor Liz-Smith.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with the comment the other Councillor Smith made. I don't think it's in keeping with the rest of the street. If you look at the red brick, they've all got red brick on there. No one else has got any cladding, as far as I could see when I looked on Google. So it isn't in keeping with the style of the rest of the street. I mean, whether that is something that would bother us with that sort of age of building, I'm not sure, but I just wanted to make that point that it's not in keeping. Thank you.
Okay.
I have it ready if you want it, Chair.
Thank you, please. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're 1940s buildings, are they? Or 30s buildings? I don't know. Yeah.
Might be as late as 1950s, you never know.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Yeah. Right. Thank you for that, Colin. Definitely won't be in keeping with it. Councillor Brown?
To be fair, I think it'll be a welcome addition. It's quite boring. I do disrespect to the people who live there, but those houses look quite, boring as they are. I think if someone there, with some cladding, will sort of brighten it up, make it look a bit fresh around there. So, yeah, I would support it. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So would you second Councillor Davison's neutral then on it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Any other comments at all? No? Right. All those in favour of neutral then, please. Carried. Thank you. Application 6, which is DC 22-0189 TCA. Trees in a conservation area, notification. 1 conifer, C Mark. My writing is all joined together. Sometimes that happens. Marked as
Chair, the agenda has
read that for me?
the agenda has C1 marked as red dot on plan, close brackets.
Right, thank you. That was in brackets. Reduce overhanging branches on neighbouring property. Brackets, open brackets, 15 Beaumont Court. Back to boundary line 2 to 3 metres. This is Val House, Hamlet Road. Any comments at all? No? Can I have a proposal for neutral then, please? Councillor Davison. Councillor Liz-Smith, second. All those in favour, please show. Thank you, that's carried. Application 7, which is DC 22-0107 HH, single storey side extension following demolition of existing conservatory. Any comments on this one? No? Can I have a proposal for neutral, please? Councillor Davison. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Liz-Smith. All those in favour, please show. Thank you. Carried. Application 8, which is DC 21-02418 FUL, planning application, construction of 3 times 4-storey house blocks, a new pharmacy, property store, healthcare, education, vocational training, kitchen, commercial workshop and laundry buildings. 3 times MUGA 1, sorry, and running track. Extension to gatehouse and gym within secure perimeter fence, together with additional car parking, a new off-site property store, landscaping and external lighting. Car park, this is, oh, I haven't put where it is last. Can someone tell me where it is, please?
HMP High Point.
Right, this is
High Point
HMP,
South.
that's your application, that's it. Yeah, right, it's HMP at High Point. Okay. Councillor Davidson, did you have your hand up? Yeah? No? Or is it no? Councillor Brown? Then Councillor Smith? Liz Smith?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Thanks, Chair. I've got quite a lot of concerns about this application. For one, I would like to support Coolidge Parish Council. These are proposed as 4-storey buildings. High Point, by the actual its name, it's one of the highest points in Suffolk. To put 4-storey buildings there in a natural landscape is going to be devastating, to be fair, for the whole area. As you can stand out like a sore thumb. Also, there's going to be a whole lot more light pollution into the Suffolk skies around the area, which is countryside. It's going to further be to the detriment of that. But also, my main concerns are really, the road through there's a 40-mile-an-hour limit. Only recently, poor motorcyclist got killed at the junction of where you turn off into, I think it was Stirling House. My son used to work there. I know other people who work there, and where the junction is into, sort of Stirling House there. It's very, very dangerous because you're coming around that corner at 40 miles an hour. If someone stopped to turn right into there, it can be rear-ended. It's quite dangerous. I think Liz would know this as well. Obviously, with the increase in staff, etc., there, it's going to increase the danger of that. There's very limited pathways alongside the road. I see people walking the road quite often to go to the cafe and the garage, etc. I see people crossing that road. I quite often use it, and people sort of having to jog across the road, etc., which is great if you're fit, but if you're not, it's dangerous. There should be a 30-mile-an-hour limit. There should be some sort of crossing on there. The transport plan, I read that, and to be fair, it's a joke. Really is a joke. The bus service is quite limited there anyway. Sundays, I don't think there's a bus at all. They're on about people cycling, walking. It's an absolute. The majority of the people that work there will be coming from Haverhill, Newmarket, the towns around there. The only way they've got getting there is by car. To me, the transport plan is ludicrous. And I propose that us as a town council, we object strongly to these plans.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Councillor Smith.
I agree totally with what Tony said. Obviously, my experience there, working there, and the road, I think, is the main worry for us, because obviously our residents use that road quite a lot. Obviously, we've got people living in Haverhill that also work there. Not only the Stirling House road that goes in there, and they're proposing that is an area for the container traffic, or deliveries and things like that. That is a very poor exit and entrance at that road, and it's on that bend. And one of my colleagues actually had a serious accident there just a few weeks ago, and she had to be cut out of her car. So coming out of north, when you come out of north site and you're turning right or left's not so bad, but if you're turning right, it's very difficult to see, particularly at night, because there is a little bit of a bend as well. So it's just a very poor road. The infrastructure is not there to support this almost doubling the amount of prisoners south. There's 900 odd at the moment. They're going to have 744. So you can think about the amount of visitors that are going to be using that road as well as staff. So, you know, I just don't, I just think it's really overdevelopment at that site. It is a large site, so there's probably room for them to do that. But there's no talk of any improvements to the current properties there, which are the old RAF buildings, sort of 1930s built. They're just building a whole new block and not paying attention to any of the older buildings, which will remain probably in the poor state they still are, to be honest. The priorities are all wrong. So, yeah, I've got a lot of objections. Yeah, I suggest that we object. So I would second any objection if Councillor Brown's put that forward. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Anyone else? Councillor Burns?
Yeah, I mean, I think Councillor Brown picked up a lot of the stuff I was going to pick up on, particularly the lack of a bus service on a Sunday. You only have to look at that transport plan where it says, I think the existing employees, I think it was 80+% travel by car, presumably all single cars, because it's you know, it's by nature of the job it's shift related. Yes, they're going to build new car parks, presumably for staff and visitors. The 4-story thing I thought was astounding. You know, think of the history of the place, and that's why, you know, I think in many ways it deserves a bypass, if you know what I mean, rather than the road going through the middle of the prison. It really needs to go around the outside of it, if that were possible. I think it's one of these things that the government have said, oh, we've got to build all these prisons and we'll use all the existing spaces, rather than thinking about logical, you know. I think, sad as it may be, I think of all those people who have to visit people up there, how they get there. In the old days, and I don't know if it still happens, they used to have buses coming out of London, especially to go there. I don't know if that's still the case or not. If I was on the committee, I'd probably be saying strongly object, but that's up to you guys. I feel very sad for all the people who live around there. They're going to have this monstrosity right in the middle of their residential area. I hope it won't, you know. Unfortunately, the nature of the thing also is a lot of the documents are confidential. You know, I fully understand, you know, you're not going to have layouts of prison cells and things like this. Of course you're not. But I just feel it's another one of these applications by a government department trying to keep everything away from you and basically saying, we'll give you what you want. Here's a 4-story block of flats in the middle of the countryside. You wouldn't allow it in the town. Why would you allow it in the countryside? Thank you.
Quite right. Quite right. Yeah, there's a letter of objection as well, and it was I noted that the car parking area is too close to Chestnut Road. You know, you got the noise of different shifts, as mentioned, with them closing the car doors, and also light pollution with their headlights and what have you, which they mentioned, light and noise pollution. All right, yeah, you can have non-polluting lighting, you know, going on it, but they don't. It's nothing to do with car headlights, especially now. You got the lights are much brighter now on car, especially the new ones, the LEDs, and also the parking spaces. There's only a few that's got electric parking. You know, by the time this prison is up and running, there'll be a lot more electric cars on the road. There's just not enough electric parking there as well. And not only for the people that come and visit, but also for the working people as well. Councillor Smith?
Yeah, I was going to say, with the lighting, I think the biggest concern of the residents, especially the ones that are in in the within the perimeter of the site, which were the old MOD houses, that estate, which is very poorly maintained anyway. I don't think that's going to improve when, when they build the rest of the prison. The light pollution will mainly come from the floodlights that will need to be expanded outwards around the perimeter of this site. At the moment, they're on the wall that goes around the site, and the new bit of building is going to be where it's currently outside of the prison, but it's going to be obviously included. So the perimeter of the prison is being expanded, so it's going to be closer to houses on the other side, because there's a few in like Hunden Close and that. So they're going to be affected. The people that live in Hunden Close, which is the old officer accommodation that used to be when it was an RAF base. So it's going to be a lot more light pollution. You see it as you're approaching the old road during the night, don't you? When you're driving along that road, you can see it quite a way off. It's going to be worse, to be honest. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my piece.
Thank you for that, Councillor Dave Smith.
Yeah, little bit. Partly is a bit of research. I used the exit that came out by Stirling House today after dropping the wife off to work, and the roads around that estate. You think we've got bad potholes? These are nearly a foot deep, these potholes. And if that road is improved, so there's access to the new car parks, then more people are going to use it, which means more cars are going to be going through the estate roads, rather than through the designated, like Lancaster Road, where it's called. So that's going to have even more effect on the residents there as well. So yeah.
Well, they won't improve it now. You said that.
Well,
that's just me.
I think the local ward council is trying to work on that, though.
All right. Right. Thank you for that. Okay, Vicky, have you got all that? Yeah. Okay, so that's can we have a proposer for objection? Oh, that's Councillor Brown. You proposing objection? Yeah. And Councillor Liz Smith, you second that? Yeah. All those in favour, please show. Thank you. Carried. The next one is, oh, that's it. Back to the agenda, which is item 8, which is matters to report. Councillor Burns.
Thank you for remembering. Yeah, only it was pointed out today, and I've had an email from a member of Westfield school staff about the fact the Newcroft or the HCSA has imposed private parking charges on the Newcroft football ground. I've emailed Damien Parker at West Suffolk and spoke to him earlier today. He's looking into it because they've actually had no conversation with him about it at all. It appears that if you're a user of the ground, you get a free permit for 4 hours. But anybody else who wants to use it, in particular Westfield School, who's been using it as an overflow for some period of time to drop kids off safely away from the highway, have been told under no circumstances will they be able to use it anymore, or they'll get a £100 fine. I've looked at the sign that's up there, and it actually said the landlord has given permission for this parking company to go on, which obviously is West Suffolk Council. I'm quite astounded by this. Councillor Brown and will well remember that we spent an inordinate amount of time working with the HCSA, and West Suffolk agreed to give them a load of land for a pittance so they can enlarge their car park. We and West Suffolk, particularly during COVID, worked over the top to give them every advantage they can. And I'm pretty disgusted that they've done this. So I'm waiting to hear what West Suffolk are going to do about it, if anything. I don't know what the lease says between them and the HCSA. but it seems to be a unilateral decision, because what will happen is other people, they'll just start parking on the grass verges again, destroying the grass verges. It happens now because they don't maintain the overflow at all. They've got no interest once it's outside their property. I have suggested to Westfield it's about time they allowed parents to drop their kids off inside the school area. If they manage that properly, they have a similar sort of problem, in the sense that ever since that school was built, and I've got a copy of their transport plan, it specifically says on their transport plan, once you're outside the school gates, they don't really have any responsibility, which, you know, is not fair. So that is happening. And also, you know, I mentioned about the road. It is getting damaged, whether it's by lorries or not, we don't know. So hopefully we will have some news soon that they're going to start doing the roundabout. They are planning to shut the road at times. I don't know how that will affect things. Obviously, it'll have to be diversions and things like that. And as I said earlier on, I've reported even more damage to the road today. Other people have already reported, but I've emphasised the fact that Suffolk Highways are saying at least 8 weeks to repair it. Well, we can't wait 8 weeks for somebody, especially those speed humps. You know, they've been damaged. I don't know where the rubber's gone, but I know one of them had a bit of metal sticking up. So hopefully that's been knocked down, because I asked the guy on the side to get a hammer and try and bend it down. So lots of problems up here on the chalk zone, the birds. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Councillor Dave Smith.
Thanks. I was contacted by a couple of friends who live down Falklands Way. Obviously, that's not in my wall, so I didn't want to step on anybody's toes, but they complained about the persimmon, the dirt on the road, on Anne Stuckman's road. It's not being cleaned, so I don't know if that's a condition that the contractors are supposed to clean those roads. So is that something we can get in touch with enforcement about, or just don't know? What's the correct course of action? Sorry,
Vicky.
I think there's a site manager that you can report it to.
Okay.
Councillor Burns.
Yeah, I was only going to say, if it's from Falklands Way, it's unlikely to be persimmon. It may well be the other developer that's building the stuff. You know, is it fresh something? Not
yeah, no, they live in Falklands Road, but they're complaining about Anne Stuckman's.
They're talking about, but as far as I know, persimmon are not doing anything on.
Oh, okay.
Right. That's what I mean. I think it might well be the other one that's building fresh something they're called. Can't remember what they're called. Yeah, they need to be just careful. But I mean, I have seen persimmon out with their road sweeper out there. Right. So it could well be that it's not them at all, or one of the other people who are doing the other houses that have been built up there. I don't know. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, it could be the ones that we was talking about tonight. That little area. Yeah. Okay. Councillor Davison.
Yeah, it is not persimmon. It is basically a small development which is next door to the one that's second on the agenda tonight. There's about, I don't know, half a dozen to a dozen houses going up there. And yeah, they are causing quite a bit of chaos. But by the same token, I have seen them cleaning it up. So maybe the residents are being a little bit, unforgiving.
Okay, thank you for that. Right, okay. Any more? No? Okay, right, the date of the next meeting, which is item 9, which is Tuesday, the 1st of March. Thank you, everyone.